Okay, here we go. Ladies, welcome to the first day of geometry class. And this will be a completely new experience for me. And so occasionally you will see me move the pen over to here and then do this. And when I do that, I'm simply pausing the video to either gather my thoughts or do whatever and then come back to the video later. But hope this class goes well. I hope it's a help to you guys. I'm looking forward to this. And I wish I could be there in person. I've really missed teaching at Berean this year, but hopefully this will be a help to you guys. Okay, we're going to be looking at lesson 5.1 today. Please write this in your notes. We're looking at congruent triangles and their corresponding parts. I will try to keep this lesson down to about 25 minutes. I'll do the best I can to do that, so please give me your undivided attention for that amount of time, and then you can start working on your homework. The date today is obviously the 8th. Chapter 5 is going to be about all about congruent triangles and parts of congruent triangles and how to prove that triangles are congruent, along with a couple other topics. Let me pause and say this. I know that Mrs. Walker has already taught chapters 5 and 6, so if you did well on 5 and 6 or average, be thankful. We're going to do a review of these two chapters to make sure you're kind of up to par on that, so it will be a review for a couple chapters, but you know what? You might find it a little boring, but at least you will find it also a little easier going over something you've had before. So let's take a look at something here today very quickly. Anything you see on the screen, I really would like you to write down. So hopefully you've already written the heading down today, the lesson number, and the date. Now, write this down, please. It's very important that you understand three things. There are three things we're going to look at today, and it's extremely important that you understand how to do these three things. So if I go too fast in the video, just have the supervising teacher pause it while you write things down. Number one, you must know what congruent triangles means. You must know what that means. When I say triangles are congruent, you must know what they mean. Number two, you must know how to match up corresponding parts of one triangle with the corresponding parts of another triangle. That is extremely important. We'll be going over that today. And again, I'm intentionally going too fast. You will have to have the teacher pause this as you write things down. And then thirdly, we are going to be looking at how to write a proper triangle congruence statement. And I would definitely have to say, out of all three things, this number 3 here is probably the most difficult, and it's the most important. This is so important that you know how to do this. Okay, so please keep that in mind. And let's continue on. Okay, so if you need to pause the video, that's fine, but these are three things we're going to look at today. What does congruent triangles mean? How do you match up corresponding parts of one triangle with another when they're congruent? And then how to write a proper triangle congruent statement. And by the way, a quick disclaimer, I won't say this again the rest of the year, but any misspelled words, number one, Mimeopad does not have spell check, and number two, I do know how to spell, but I'm typing very quickly, and when I go back and check it, I don't always see mistakes that I've made, so please don't think that I don't know how to spell. Okay, let's get started with this first point. What does congruent triangles mean? Please draw these two triangles quickly in your notes, please, and let's talk about what congruent triangles means. Okay, very quickly here, let's just go ahead and call this angle right here. Let's call this, I would say about 70 degrees. Let's call this angle here 85 degrees. It's not quite 90. And that gives us 155. So let's call this a small angle here 25 degrees. Okay? Obviously every triangle has 3 degrees. Go ahead and write this in your triangle. And now we come over here and we're going to call this angle here 25 degrees. And we're going to call this angle right here 85 degrees. Please write that down in your notes. And we're going to call this angle 70 degrees. And I probably should have done this at the beginning. I want you to write a big congruent symbol between these two triangles, okay? So we're saying these two triangles are congruent. Do you notice how I wrote 3 angles over here, and I wrote the same 3 angles over here? Now, I'm going to go ahead and call this side here, we're going to say it's a length of 3 inches. I'm just going to make that up. Come over here, please, and also write 3 inches over here. And then we're going to call this side right here 5 inches, and we're going to call this side right here 5 inches also. And we're going to call this side here 4.5 inches, so we're going to say 4.5. Throw some decimals in there at you. There we go. Now, these two triangles are congruent. Please, please, please write down these two thoughts. You have to see this, okay? Notice, put an asterisk here. Notice that all 3 angles are congruent to each other. Do you see that okay? Now that's not enough for congruent triangles. You have to have one other thing also. Notice that's another asterisk, or at least a very poor attempt at an asterisk. All 3 sides. I'm going to use ditto marks. All 3 sides are congruent to each other. So notice that also. Okay? So when I tell you from now on the rest of this year that you have 2 triangles, let me try that again. You have 2 triangles. When I tell you the rest of this year that you have 2 triangles that are congruent, like I've written here, what does that mean? What does that mean? It means all 3 angles are congruent to each other. These 3 angles will match these 3 angles, and it also means that all 3 sides match all 3 sides. Notice it doesn't matter how one triangle is turned compared to the other triangle. None of that matters as long as all 3 angles are congruent to all 3 angles and all 3 sides are congruent to all 3 sides. Now, we've used numbers to show you this. Now, I'm going to show you something else, and I'm not sure. Just ignore this, please. I don't want you to write that down. I'm sorry that's there. Just ignore that. I want you to draw these triangles right here. Okay, my pen is on them right now. Would you draw these triangles in your notes? I want to show you something else you need to see about what does congruent triangles mean. Now watch this, please, very carefully. I want you to put 1 mark here on this side and then 1 mark on this side. That means those 2 sides are congruent. And then I want you to put 2 marks on this side, 2 marks on this side, and then 3 marks on this side, and then 3 marks on this side. All right. Now we're going to put 1 mark on this angle, 1 little slash, and then come over here and put 1 little slash here. And then we're going to put 2 slashes in that angle. So we'll put 2 slashes right here. 1, 2, and then right here we're going to put 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. All right. Now again, I'm not there in class, so it's really hard for me to know if I'm going too fast or too slow. So throughout the entire year, you're going to have to ask the supervising teacher to pause the video. But do you see something here, ladies? Do you see how I have this angle with 1 mark, this angle with 1 mark, this angle with 2 marks, this angle with 2 marks, and this angle with 3 marks, and this angle with 3 marks? That means this angle here is congruent to this angle here. You say, well, Mr. Earhart, what is the measurement of that angle? Is it 80 degrees? I have no idea, and I really don't care. I know this angle is congruent to this angle. I know this angle with 2 marks is congruent to this angle here, and I know this angle is congruent to this angle. Also notice the sides. This side right here has 1 slash, so this length, this side is congruent to this side. This side is congruent to this side, and this side here with 3 marks is congruent to that side. So I tried to give you 2 examples showing you what does congruent triangles mean. I've tried to give you an example. Let's go back a page. I've tried to give you an example where we use numbers angle numbers and side measurement numbers. And then here we used symbols and just marks to show you that two triangles are congruent. But here's the main thing you've got to get, ladies, right here. When I tell you two triangles are congruent, what am I telling you? I'm telling you all three angles are congruent to each other, and I'm telling you all three sides are congruent to each other. If this is redundant and you know all this from last semester, then again, count your blessings to be thankful we're doing a lot of review. Okay? Would you please write this down? I told you we wanted to talk about what does congruent triangles mean. We also want to talk about how do you match corresponding parts of congruent triangles. If I tell you a triangle here is congruent to a triangle here, go ahead and write this down while I'm talking, please. If I tell you that two triangles are congruent and you need to be able to match their corresponding parts, what does that mean? This is very important, very, very important. You're going to be lost later on this chapter, so please take some really good notes and let's see how we do. All right, here we go. Okay, draw these two triangles in your notes right here, please. Just copy those down. Okay, let's go ahead and write some numbers in here very quickly. In fact, I'm going to try to use the numbers that I used before. Go ahead and write 70 degrees in here. And real quick, 85 degrees. And then what do we say here? 25, I believe. And so this is going to be 25 degrees here. And we're going to call this 85 degrees and this 70. Please copy that in your notes very quickly. We're going to call this a length of 3. I'm not going to go for neatness. I'm going to go for speed here. We're going to call those a length of 3. We're going to call this that side is a length of 4.5. And so this side here is 4.5. And we're going to call this 5 and this 5. Now one more thing you really need to do, so please write this down. We're going to call this triangle ABC, and we're going to call this triangle here triangle MEG. How's that for Megan? So MEG, just for you, Megan. All right, so we have triangle ABC and triangle MEG. Now I want you to start learning how to match corresponding parts of congruent triangles. These two triangles are congruent because all three angles are congruent to all three angles, and all three sides are congruent to all three sides. So would you please write this down? Are you ready? Let's talk about angles first. Write that down. You're going to do one of these on your own in just a second, and we'll try to work bonus points in like I did last year when I was at Berean, but it's going to take some time as I get used to this video stuff, so please be patient. Okay, let's talk about the angles. Are you ready? Here is a corresponding part being matched with the corresponding part. Angle A is congruent to, well, let's see, 70 degrees, angle A. Let's come over here. Where's my 70 degrees? Right here. What angle is that? It's angle E. So angle A is congruent to angle E. If you're finding this amazingly boring and easy, be thankful because at least it's easy. It will get more difficult as the year goes on. Okay, let's take a look at angle B, shall we? Angle B. The measurement of angle B is 85 degrees. So we come over here. Here's 85 degrees. So angle B is corresponding or congruent to angle G. All right. And then we have angle C. And that's 25 degrees. We come over here. Angle M is 25 degrees. So angle M there. You just wrote corresponding parts of congruent triangles. Angle A corresponds with angle E, angle B corresponds with angle G, and angle C corresponds with angle M. Now let's talk about the sides. Be really careful here. We have side AB, here it is. And what's the length of AB? 3. So let's find 3 over here. That's side GE. So side AB is congruent to side GE, and we say they are corresponding parts. Now let's go to side AC. It really doesn't matter which one we go to next, but we're going to say AC. Now AC is right here. My pen is on it. It has a length of 5. So we come over here, and what side has a length of 5? Well, this side right here, and that's side ME. So there we go. Those two sides are called corresponding parts. Cool. So we've used AB, we've used AC, we haven't used BC yet. So BC is my last side. And BC, of course, has a length of 4.5, and MG has a length of 4.5. So MG. There we go. And again, if you got to pause the video, feel free to do that. I just keep moving on, trusting you to communicate with your stellar supervising teacher. All right, here we go. Let's use some right triangles. So, did not mean to do that. I have no idea what I just did. All right, let's put a right angle here. Go ahead and copy these triangles in your notes, please. Again, if I'm putting you to sleep, I think I will be done in a grand total of 45 minutes, so we will go quickly. Okay, we don't want to leave out anyone here, so we're going to call this triangle ASH for Ashley, and triangle, and we'll get to you, Tara, in a second here. Cat for, oh, we can't do that because we have an A, don't we? Can't do that, so we're going to just say KTE for Kate. All right, now please write this in your notes. We're going to put a congruent symbol here. I'm going to go really fast. Are you ready? This is a right angle, so we know that's 90 degrees. This is a right angle, so we know this is 90 degrees. We're going to call this, we'll call it 60. Please write that down. And it looks like this would be 60 right here. And we're going to call this 30 degrees, and we'll call this angle 30 degrees. Please write those down quickly. And then we're going to call this a 3, 4, 5 triangle. And that's not probably accurate in measurements. In fact, it's not, but we're going to go ahead and use it anyways. 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay, now, are you ready? Let's go very fast. Let's talk about the angles. I want you to tell me what angle S corresponds to. I want you to tell me what angle A corresponds to. And I want you to tell me what angle H corresponds to. Please, would you do that quickly? So look over here and tell me what angle goes with these three. All right, I'm going to write the answers. You should be able to do this very quickly by now. So I'm going to go ahead and write the answers. And if you are not finished when I am, just keep working and look up when you're done. So angle S corresponds with this angle. Angle A corresponds with this angle. And angle H corresponds with this angle here. There we go. All right. Pause the video if you need to. I'm going to move on. I want you now to match up corresponding sides. So side AS corresponds with something. Side AH corresponds with the side from over here, and then side SH. Go ahead and see if you can write the corresponding sides with the proper corresponding sides. Then look up here when you're finished and see if you have those done correctly. There we go. Okay. Hope you're getting this. I don't want to beat a dead dog and be too boring. Although as a math teacher, I'm sure it's my job to be boring. But hopefully you're getting this, okay? Would you notice something here very quickly? The last problem that we did a second ago, right here, you have this in your notes already, we used all numbers. Do you see that? All the angles had numbers, all the sides had numbers. In this problem here, we just did, same thing. All the angles had numbers and all the sides had numbers. However, let me throw a nice little curveball at you for a second and see how you guys respond. Again, I'm almost done. We have one more topic and we'll be finished, so hang in there, please. And you're gonna take a lot of notes in this class. We're gonna work hard, but I'm gonna help you a lot. But I want you to draw these triangles in your notes, please, very quickly. Then I want you to put 1 mark here, and then come over here and put 1 mark. And again, if I'm going too fast, you just have the supervising teacher pause the video. 2 marks there, 2 marks there, and then we go 1, 2, 3 marks there, and then 1, 2, 3 marks there. Okay? And with that in mind, we're going to put, now for this side here, we're going to put 1 mark here on this side, 1 mark on that side. We're going to put 2 marks here, 2 marks here, and then 3 marks here, and then 3 here. Can you all do that okay? And I am telling you now, these two triangles are congruent, okay? I'm telling you that. Okay, who have we left out? We don't leave Tara out, so I guess we'll just say T-A-R. And then we have to say Mr. Earhart, I guess, but we can't use an R, so we're going to go with my first name, so M-I-K. All right, now we are stating these two triangles are congruent. So let's talk about the angles. Are you ready? I want you to write the corresponding parts for angle A, angle T, and angle R. Okay, so go ahead and do that on your own, please. Can you do that using just symbols and no numbers? Angle A has 2 marks. Do you see that? So come over here and find an angle with 2 marks. Go ahead and do the rest on your own. Angle T goes with this angle here, and angle R goes with this angle here. All right, now let's come over here, and I want you to match up side TA with its corresponding side, side TR with corresponding side, and then side AR. Go ahead and do that, please. And look up here when you're finished. I will help you with the first one. Notice side TA. Do you see the T right here in the A? Has 1 mark. This whole side has 1 mark through it. So come over here and find the side that has 1 mark. There it is. And that's side KI. Do the next 2 on your own, please. Very good. Okay, hopefully you're getting this all right. So you're learning now, let's go back up here. You're learning to do what? You're learning how to match corresponding parts of congruent triangles. When we say parts, we're talking about angles and sides. Angles and sides, okay? All right, last thing. Let's zoom very quickly way up here, now flying up through here. I told you we were going to do 3 things today. We've already done this. We've talked about what congruent triangles mean. We've talked about this. How do you match up corresponding parts? And now we're going to go on to step 3 here, or part number 3. So let's go backwards. And there we go. Please copy this in your notes. Okay, we are writing triangle congruence statements. I cannot express to you how important this is. I hope you'll pay attention and take some really good notes. This is so mega important, so please listen very well. Okay, here we go. Please copy these triangles in your notes, and let's roll. Here we go. We're going to call this, we'll continue to be extremely creative. Well, I guess we'll call this Berean eagle. So B for Berean, then E, A, equals G, L. We don't want another E, so we're going to pretend we don't know how to spell, and we'll put an S here. So Berean eagles. Okay, now please watch this carefully. I'm trying to have a little fun here, but also teach you math. We're stating that these 2 triangles are congruent. Okay, now let's go ahead and write some numbers in here very quickly. I know I've used these same triangles over and over, but I'm just trying to save myself time and also just be pretty simple here. Okay, real quick, please. We already know. I don't want to do that. We already know from the past triangles we've been calling this 70 degrees. Write that down, please. We've been calling this 85 degrees, and we've been calling this 25 degrees. Okay, so let's come over here. Here's my 25-degree angle right here. This is my 85-degree angle here, and this is my 70-degree angle here. And then I think we've been calling this side here 4.5. No, that is incorrect, so please fix that in your notes. We've been calling that the 5 side, and we've been calling this the 5 side. We've been calling this the 4.5 side, and we've been calling this the 4.5 side, and this has been our 3 side right here. Now, this is so important, guys. Don't miss this. Please watch. I'm almost done. Look, when I asked you, let's look back about 4 slides. When I asked you to match corresponding parts, we were dealing with angles compared to angles. Do you see that? And sides compared to sides. That's called corresponding, keyword, parts. But now we're talking about triangle statements, not parts. Notice you don't see this word anywhere. You don't see the word parts. Okay, we are now dealing with triangle statements. So please write this in your notes. If I said triangle BEA, and that's this, is congruent to, now please watch this, triangle. Now here's my question for you. Do I put GSL? Do I put SLG? Do I put LGS? You might say, who cares? It doesn't matter. And that's incorrect. It does matter. It's very important you see this. You have to write your congruent statements, triangle statements, correctly. So watch. What angle did I put first right here? B. What's the measurement for B? 70. So come over here and find 70. Here it is. So L has to come first. What angle did I put second over here? E. And E is 85 degrees. So if I put the 85-degree angle second, I've got to put the 85-degree angle S second over here. Wow, that's a nice S, isn't it? Wow. Let's try that again. All right. Now, this third angle, A, is 25 degrees. So if I'm calling my third letter here the 25-degree letter, I better find the 25-degree letter over here, G. There. Now, that is how you write a proper congruency statement with triangles. All right. Now, you might say, Mr. Earhart, how did you know to write triangle BEA? It doesn't matter. Let's change it around. Let's say triangle EAB. That's fine. But don't forget, if you change these letters around, then these letters here are also going to be turned around. In other words, here's angle E. Okay, now look up here. What letter went with angle E? Angle E. Wasn't it S? Here's E. Second letter over. Here's S. Second letter over. Look up here. E is 85 degrees. So come over here. What's your 85 degrees? S. So S has to come first. A second, and A is 25 degrees. So over here, 25 degrees is G. And then over here, B is third, and B is 70, and so 70 is L. I hope you're getting this. I want you to do one on your own. I really think I can work some bonus points in. Again, just be patient with me, and we'll try to do that little by little. All right, let's try triangle A, B, E. All right. Would you do that on your own, please? I want you to write the proper triangle congruent statement that goes with triangle ABE. All right. I'm going to start doing that now. Look up here when you're done and see if you get it correct. All right. Again, if you need the teacher, I forgot my triangle symbol. You might want to write that in. You know, just tell the teacher to pause the video if you need him to, but that is the correct answer. I am going to move on, okay? All right. Now, let's very quickly, let's just go faster. Let's just say ABC, DEF. Please copy this in your notes. You're on your own on this one. I'm going to put, let's see, 1 mark here, 1 mark here, 2 marks here, 2 marks here, 3 marks here, 3 marks here, and let's put 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here, put 1 mark here, let's see, 1 mark here, 2 marks in this angle, 2 marks in this thing. We're going to call this triangle A, B, C is congruent to triangle, and you're on your own. Fill that blank in. Look up here when you're done, please. Okay. So I want you to write that triangle congruent statement on your own. I'm telling you now these two triangles are congruent, and so go ahead and match up, write the correct triangle congruent statement. All right. I'm doing that now, so please don't look up here unless you're checking your work or if you need some help. All right, there it is. Hopefully you got that right. And again, if you got to pause the video, just tell the teacher. I'm going to throw another thought at you guys here. I got a question for you, super intelligent aeronautical engineers. Let's say I had triangle X, Y, Z. Would you please write that in your notes? Is congruent to triangle, I don't know, M, N, O. Okay? Now watch this. Because this is why it's so important to write your triangle congruent statement in the proper order. It's not mandatory. It's right or wrong. Either you get it right or you get it wrong. It's very important that you write this correctly, because I can look at this triangle statement right now and watch what I can write. Write this down. In reference to the angles, look what I can write. I can write angle without even seeing the triangles. I don't see any triangles up here. I just see the letters. I can tell you right now, angle X is congruent to angle M, because here's X and here's M. I can tell you that angle Y, here's Y right here, is congruent to angle N. See how neat this is? And I can tell you that angle Z is congruent to angle O. Just because I know this statement has to be written a certain way. I can do the same thing with the sides. This is so cool. Watch this. Here's the first two letters. See them right here? I'm going to circle them for you. XY. See those two? So I'm going to say side XY is congruent to first two letters. What's the first two letters over here? Yep, you got it. MN. Now, let's look at the last two letters right here. YZ. And what's the last two letters over here? NO. So you can state that YZ is congruent to NO. Pretty cool. And now I'm going to tie these two letters. See X and Z, XZ. I can say that side XZ is congruent to, all right, well, what's the first and last letter over here? MO. Mo. Great place to eat. Mo's Burritos. All right. So XZ is congruent to MO. All right. So there we go. I'm probably pretty long-winded. Please be patient with me as I get used to this new video thing myself. It's going to take practice from. Okay, it's me again, back to torture you. Here's your homework. Now, before you start throwing things at the screen that's pulled down in front of you, this is a grand total of 17 problems. I think you saw in class today how easy these problems are and how there's really no math to work out. You're just writing symbols and congruent statements. So these problems, all 17, are going to be write congruent parts, which you can do very quickly, or they're going to ask you yes or no questions. So this is a very reasonable assignment. Those that had me last year know that I believe in homework, but I don't believe in killing students with homework, and this is a very reasonable assignment. You'll see once you start working on it. Now, here's what's really cool about this video thing, okay? I have all 17 problems worked out for you. And you can go to not Facebook, but the YouTube account, and you can pull up a video, and it will show you how to work out all 17 problems. So when you go home tonight, you get online, you go to YouTube, you pull up my account, and you can watch the video and find your mistakes. It's so cool how this is going to work. And to be honest with you, I know that some of you might be tempted just to copy the homework, and you know that's a really foolish decision because you will not know what you're doing when it comes time for quizzes or tests. Okay, here's your homework. Hope you guys have a great day today, and we will see you tomorrow.